have mentioned, Vice President Harris is in Poland to reaffirm U.S. cooperation with NATO allies in Eastern Europe. The trip comes a day after the Pentagon, at least temporarily, rejected a proposal from Poland to send fighter jets to Ukraine through a U.S. air base in Germany. Joining me now from Poland is CBS News correspondent Christina Ruffini. And Christina, first of all, thank you for your hard work and the important reporting you're doing. To set the stage, this is about jets. Jets are about defense, but it's also about the definition of escalation and provocation. Walk us through that.
Yeah, it's almost like a hot potato and no one wants to have touched it last. So the original plan that U.S. officials were negotiating involved Poland giving its old MiG fighters to Ukraine. The Ukrainian military would then fly them, and the U.S. would replace them with used but still better than MiGs, F-16s. That seemed to be the going plan. Then all of a sudden Poland announced, hey, actually what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fly those to Ramstein Air Base, and the U.S. can go ahead and handle delivery. What the fear is here is nobody wants to kind of directly put these airplanes into Ukraine. Nobody from NATO, nobody from EU, nobody from the U.S., because they don't want it to look like they are engaging Russia in direct conflict. So there was going to be kind of this largely ridiculous cloak and dagger operation. There was one scenario discussed where these planes were going to go to a third-party country, be repainted. The Ukrainian pilots were going to come out and get them and then fly them back into Ukraine. Now it seems like everybody's talking in a different way because nobody wants to be the last person to have these jets before they go into Ukraine. So back to the negotiating table.
Right. And just to put it metaphorically, perhaps in an apt way, you just can't leave fighter jets on Ukraine's doorstep, ring the doorbell, and run away.
Right, and it's not like, you know, a paint job is going to cover up where they came from. The irony of this is, if we're talking about it and I'm talking about it, you can be darn sure the FSB in Russia knows exactly where these jets came from. It's all about plausible diplomatic deniability, and whatever diplomatic cover they thought they had built up didn't make the people in Poland, didn't make the Polish government comfortable enough to go through with it, because they're very fearful of becoming a target for Russian ire and possibly Russian military strikes, even though, as everyone knows, Poland is a NATO member, and that would be a much, much bigger deal. So Poland is very leery of that, and they're already nervous about being a transit point for a lot of these weapon systems coming from the EU, coming from NATO, are going through Poland, and they didn't want to exacerbate the situation.
Now, MiG is a classification of a Russian-style aircraft, not Russian-made, but Russian-style. MiG is the designation of it. Help the audience understand the kind of difference this kind of fighter jet would make and the importance of Ukrainian fighter pilots' familiarity with this kind of technology.
Well, the place Ukraine is really suffering is from the air, right? These Russian munitions raining down on these cities are really what's causing damage. That's why you're hearing the outcry for a no-fly zone. And the Ukrainian government has said that it needs to be able to protect itself. So what they need is they need air support. And if they don't have enough jets, they're trying to get them from somewhere. These Russian MiGs or these Russian MiGs or these, styled MiGs that were here in Poland seemed like a good idea, not only because they're available, but because any of these former Soviet Eastern European bloc states have these jets and their fighters know how to fly them. It's not like the movies, right? You can't just take one fighter pilot who's trained on one jet, plop him into an F-16 and fly him in. It's not how it works.
Christina, at your time at the State Department and traveling world, you've become pretty adept at reading diplomatic tea leaves, some of those tea leaves with military overtones. This situation has a great deal of both. What do you see playing out in the next few days?
Oh, Major, I don't know if it's tea leaves so much anymore as just a big pile of junk at the bottom of a cup that's threatening to crack if they pour any more hot liquid into it. I'm not sure. It seems like everyone is united in the understanding that they need to figure out a way to get more air power, air support, air cover to Ukraine. But as we mentioned, nobody quite wants to be the one to do it. So you're going to have to see if the humanitarian disaster, if the refugees, if the violence coming out of Ukraine pushes the NATO allies, pushes EU far enough to be willing to take that risk, to be willing to provide those jets come what may, or if we're in kind of a stalemate because nobody wants to antagonize Russia further and the Ukrainians are left to deal with this virtually on their own, or with what kind of military supplies they're able to get through whatever ground routes they're using, likely here through Poland.
Picking up on your comments about that humanitarian duress, to the degree you're able, describe what you're seeing, what the consequences are, what you've been able to actually see firsthand.
I mean, people are just really, really, really tired, and they're afraid, and it's really uncertain. We talked to a woman today who said, I said, you know, did you think about not leaving? And she said, yes, even up to yesterday they thought about leaving. But she has a 6-year-old boy, and they're so uncertain about how long this war will last. She said he's supposed to be in school next year, and she didn't know if he would have that opportunity if they stayed inside Ukraine.
Christina Ruffini in Poland, thank you so very much.
Thanks, Major.